Once you do that and you start to add job roles to people can't keep up. So
because you're talking about service accommodations in London, but what about the ones that are in the sticks? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are people going to be going out and there's so many service accommodations out there. Like at least with HMOs, you got to register.
That's what I'm saying. And not even that, it's like you've got people actually living there. So you do something wrong, the first place they're going to go to is the council. Like I work with families that happens to, where it's like unregulated HMOs. They get kicked out because the landlord wanted to put up the rent illegally, even though there's been no contract in place to even have them there. The landlord puts up the rent, they can't afford it, they're now homeless, they've been kicked out of a contract that didn't even exist. Now we know about a HMO that exists that is not actually a HMO. And so you don't run that same risk when you have guests coming in and out of your property, because they don't stay there long enough to know what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do,
or to care.
Literally, or to even care. So I'm not really worried. At first I was kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But I feel like it was similar with the 90-day rule. And listen, even when we went to, was it Blackpool, and they were like, oh yeah, it's similar to their 90-day rule, you have to ask permission. Some places you have to get planning permission, some places are already operating like this.
100%.
Some places are already doing this and no one's known because it's not been that deep.
And
when we first went to Blackpool, we were like asking everyone, like, is it okay to do it? In hindsight, we should have really just done it and just let it be what it needed to be.
Do you know what I mean?
Who's going to check? Literally. So I think it sounds a lot more complicated than it is, and unfortunately I think the government have a point. If you think about, I think about the island that we're on at the moment, where we have got numerous properties there, and that is effectively taking away homes from other people. However, we're also giving the opportunity to businesses who need those things to operate, to pay staff who pay for their homes, their rent, their mortgage in their house. So in a way, you know, you're never going to be satisfied and please everyone in this society. And also everyone's got to make a living. So anybody who's crying at home is like you're just stealing from the government, you're doing this, whatever. Listen, we could be doing so much worse with our time. And you might even be in a corporate job earning 100k. That's good for you. Unfortunately, I was not built like that to be working in that way, and I've had to get my money elsewhere and through other avenues. So it's just like, there's going to be a lot to say about these changes. I don't know what the next 12 months is going to look like. I feel like all these regulations are going to be put in loosely. And I would like to see if it's going to scare people. I think the rate of people joining rent-to-service accommodation or the rent-to-rent strategy is going to lessen.
100%. Because then again, people will then start to cling on to, and they're already starting to do it, like supported living, social housing.
Social housing is going up.
This
existed before. And not even any shade. It's just like people are like, oh my gosh, social housing, like screaming about it. It was here, like, mate, like what are we?
It's been here.
It's been here.